All my life is for me. Close my eyes and imagine I'm on. Hello, I think I'm up already. Okay. Okay, okay. Hello. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is 10 o'clock on Wednesday, 10 o'clock on Wednesday, and this is Tuesday, Fixing Personal Development Issues with Joseph Adeleke. This is Fixing Personal Development Issues with Joseph Adeleke. And I'm really excited to be here today. I'm sincerely excited to be here today. Though I woke up this morning with the ish of the day itself as it being a remembrance of my late father. And but it's something to be grateful for that he lived his life the best way he could, and he did all he could for us as his children. And today we're gonna be talking about something different, something that I noticed. Like in the caption, I was watching a movie, like a trailer of a particular movie, and I've seen it a couple of times where we assume that what someone wants is this, while this person has probably grown past that, and we as a parent, you most likely handle your child like the person is still a child. So when you're taking care of the person at the age of 1 to probably 9 or 10, there are certain things the person like. When you're taking care of the person from 1 to 5, there are certain things that the person like. The person might change that kind of thing when the person is probably 6 to 10. And when the person is 11 to 15 or 16 or whatsoever, the person changes that kind of thing again. And over time, things get to change. Probably the kind of food that the child like, the kind of music the child like to listen to, the kind of um, places the person like to go to. Different things affect how the child thinks. But most parents do not change with the season of that child's life. We just assume that, okay, because this child is my child, and once upon a time, this person likes this. And I think this person still like this. So we're trying to, what we're going to be addressing today is different. For parents to know that, okay, if you want to get close to this child, then you probably need to grow with this child. Don't just assume that because once upon a time you know this about this child and the child is still that way. So what I titled today's topic was is rather simplest ways to know your child better. Simplest ways to know your child better. There are simple things that parents could do, and this thing could increase the bond between the child and the parents. And it might look so little, but they go a long way. It's those simple things that matter, actually. It's those simple things that matter. And I believe parents need to understand that it's not just about um, getting this child the finest things, the biggest things. Love is usually in little things that you do. Yeah, love is in little things that you do. And so I broke this thing down into um, 5 simple things that you can do to know your child better. The first thing I did was to state that you need to come to terms um, come to terms with the fact that everything that your child knows, you most likely will not know a little out of it. So your child will definitely know something and you don't really have an idea about it. So come to terms with the fact that teenagers know about things you are you don't even know, you don't even have an idea about. They have access to informations that interest them and might not even interest you. So many things that um, many of the teenagers of today know about today, many of their parents don't know. So you just have to come to terms with the fact that you really would not know. You cannot force yourself to actually know. Do you understand? So be okay with it. You don't really need to know. You need to know some things that your kids are doing, but don't be bothered about not knowing all. And some of those things includes the latest trend. So many of the kids that we have today, they know so much things. And come to the time that you really do not have to keep up with them. Do you understand? You really do not have to keep up with the trends like they do. Do you understand? But you have to keep up with them, of course. But you don't have to keep up with the trends. Many of the things that they like, the trends, the latest trends, the music that they listen to, the movies, the choice of movies that they watch. So they would have access to these things if you stop them from watching TVs at home, if you stop them from doing things that you feel that these are the rules and regulation in the house. You must not do this. You must not do this. You must. They would still have access to those things. If they don't have access to it through your phone, if they don't have access to it um their siblings' phone or something, they will have access to it outside. It's probably a friend's phone in school or whatsoever. They will have access to these things. So just come to terms with that. And to curb things like that, that's where the whole orientation needs to come in, the kind of value system that you input into your child. Try to make sure that this kid understand that when it comes to my family, this is what we love to do, this is what we appreciate the more, this is what we are known for. So if such child know those kind of things, then he or she would know how to regulate the kind of trend that they want to jump on. So just come to terms with the fact that there are many things that your kids know that you will never know, and you don't need to bother about it. All you just need to do is to keep up with your child, make sure that whatever thing your child is adopting would not lead that child astray. The second thing is to understand the importance of hearing your kids out. Hear your kids out. Hear your kids out. Let them have the freedom that they need. But of course, allow them to know that there are consequences for every freedom that has been given. So if you give your kids the freedom to go outside, then you let them know that okay, if you go outside, this is what will happen. This is what you'll be exposed to, and this is the side effect of this exposure, and this is the good part of this exposure. If you can take it, then fine. If you can't take it, just let me know how things are going on with you. So if you are so tight on this child, if you are not listening to this child is trying to communicate with you, you are not listening to the child, you're going to have, it's going to be difficult actually to help or to get closer, to have this mutual connection with your child. Um, if you are so rigid with the child will do whatever thing he or she wants to do. I know of a certain child that she she do not go outside. She does not go outside, and she dress morally inside. And I was shocked personally to see her on Instagram on cloth that exposes her body and also everything. And the truth is that parents are not following on those socials. So you should understand that if um, some form of moral, some form of value system are not passed to this child, if they do not understand that okay, this is your freedom, this is the consequences of this freedom that you're trying to embrace, this is the repercussion, this is that, then you are breathing space for problem, and you really don't need that. So another thing is, instead of controlling your teenage child. Make your relationship with them a collaborative one. Make your relationship with your child a collaborative one. So your child wants to do something, then you let your child that know that's okay. I can give you the freedom to do this. You want to go out to see your friend, fine, go and see your friend. Just make sure that you're back by this time. And if you break that time that I've given to you, then just know that when next you want to go out, I will not allow you. Do you understand? So just make it a collaborative one where both of you, the parents and the child, agree. Make it a collaborative one. You guys agree. You make sure that you come to terms with the fact that okay, um, this is what I want to do. Okay, this is how I want to do it. This is how I want to get it done, and all those kind of things. And it's in this kind of situation that a child learn contentment. So if the child knows that um, my friend just got a shoe and I love that kind of shoe, then the parents know how to communicate in a way that this child knows that okay, your friend has a shoe, um, this is how, this is the condition of his or her parents to have made them afford this shoe. For now, I cannot afford this shoe, but I promise you that I will get it for you, a collaborative one. And such child will be able to learn that okay, when next I see something that I appreciate and I communicate with my parent and they don't really have it, do you understand? It would help me. It would help me in a better way to know that okay, I don't really need to stress myself much. All I just need to do is to understand that if my parents have this, they would get it for me. So having a mutual understanding is the best, is what would come out of this kind of relationship, is what will come out of a collaborative relationship. And every parent needs to understand those kind of things. Don't deprive your child. Don't tell your child that oh, so you want the shoe, get out of my sight. If you don't allow them see reasons why you might not be able to provide for those things at that time, they might get those things somewhere else. So you don't want to give your female child money and don't want to let the child know why he or she cannot have access to that fund at the moment. Or you don't want to give the child this whatever thing and you don't want to allow the child understand why he or she cannot have access to those things at that time. Then you are allowing this child look at every other options available. And trust me, there are so many options. And the options that this child will most likely take will be a terrible one. And you don't want that for yourself. So we're trying to build a kind of relationship where you and your child, as a mother, you need this closeness, this kind of beautiful and cordial relationship between yourself. So another thing that I have here is don't force anything on your children. Um, speak to them with love. Allow them, of course, to have the freedom of choice, because forcing a child to do what you believe is right is making such child will make such child rebellious. So don't force a child to do anything without his or her consent. Don't just force a child and say that you must do this. I'm your father. You must do this. Um, in the last week, I was sharing something about how an experience that I had with my father, and he wanted me to teach, and I was not interested. Of course, he wanted me to teach in a school, but I was not interested in teaching in a school. And he was saying that if I do not teach in a school, this is what will happen. He will not do this, will not do that. And once he was saying that, I became stubborn about it. That you can't force me. This is what I was going to do. I still did what I wanted to do, even though I had to turn back and retrace my step. But such way builds up a rebellious child. The child will not just like you, just feel that you are hating on him or her. Do you understand? And you don't want your child to start feeling that you hate her or you hate him when you really do not. So that's that. Don't force anything on your child. Don't force anything on your child. The person's career path. Last week I was also sharing about a young girl who wanted to be in the art class, and her father told her that if she's not in sciences or commercial or whatsoever, then she has nothing to do in school. And you don't want that kind of thing. It breaks the person heart. It makes the person uncomfortable. It makes the person feel sad and all those kind of things. You don't want that for yourself. You want a relationship where this child knows that he or she is loved. If you feel that a child should not be in art class or be in science class or be in commercial class, then let the person see reason why you feel that this is it. Sometimes a child might make decision based on what they see among their peers and all those kind of things. They just want to do the same thing, and they just feel that Sade is in art class. I want to be in art class too. Busola is in science class. I need to be in science class too. So sometimes they're being influenced by their peers, and sometimes it's because that is what they are interested in. That is what they are interested in. Don't force a child. Don't force your child to take up a career path that he or she is not interested in. At the end of the day, the child will always be there to face the consequences alone. And you've made the decision for the child, and you don't really want that. You sincerely do not want that. And finally, raise your kids not to fear but respect you. Not to fear but to respect you. There's a difference between being scared of somebody and having respect for the person. So don't have a relationship with a child that fears you. It's not good. Trust me, that child will not tell you all the things that you need to know. And you'll be worried thinking there are some parents that feel that they are close to their kids because they talk a lot. Meanwhile, if the child does something wrong, they beat the heaven and earth out of the child or whatever the word is. So you beat your child and the child fears you. Though you talk, but the child fears you, and the child is not um, keeping those things from you out of respect. The child's only keeping them because he or she is scared of you, and you don't want that kind of relationship with your child. You don't want the relationship where your child cannot really open up to you. The child cannot tell you what he or she is going through, how he or she has been bullied, and he or she has been having a form of difficulty. And you want a child that respects you, that know that okay, this is it. This is my mom. This is my dad. This is the kind of person that they are. If they see me doing this thing, they will not be happy. So because of the respect I have for them, I will not do XYZ or whatever. So you want to have a relationship like that. You don't want a relationship where the child will just be scared. The child will not get close. The child will not get too far, but he or she is just scared of you. And I don't like it when I hear kids say that they hate their mom, that they hate their dad, they hate this, they hate that. And I feel that these people are going through a lot. And because of the busy schedule of the parents, they just don't have the time for these kids. And you don't want to breed such relationship. It is terrible. So terrible. So terrible. So terrible. And that's just the 5 things that I have as regards the simplest ways to know your child better. Simple ways that can help you build a better relationship with your child. Very simple ways, not so hard, not far-fetched, just simple ways where if you do the simple things, then the relationship between you and your child becomes a sweet one, becomes a beautiful one. And I'll just repeat them again. The first one is come to terms with the fact that you can't know everything about your child, and you really cannot keep up with all the things that your child know, but you just need to keep up with how your child is living, making sure that you're guiding the child right. You might not be able to know everything, trust me. You will not even know everything. So don't even stress it. So just keep up with the fact that you will not know everything, but be there for the child, listen to the child, um, understand the child. And the second thing I stated was to understand the aspect of listening and hearing your child when he or she speaks. Do you understand? Your opinion is not superior. I say it every time whenever I'm making a post or something. Your opinion is not superior to anybody. Anybody. So this thought that I'm sharing now does not mean that it's better than any other person's opinion. It just means that this is my perspective of how I feel that parents can build their relationship with their kids better. And if they apply them, I believe it will work. Do you understand? And that's because I've seen it happen for me in my personal life between myself and my parents, and I believe that it's something that can work. So another thing that I said is to instead of trying to control your child, make sure that the relationship between yourself and your child is a collaborative one. Collaborate with your child. Do you understand? Let your child know where you're coming from, understand you, know your perspective of things. We are not always right 100% of time. We are not always right 100% of time, but it's always beautiful when your child know where you're coming from, how you see things, and when he or she wants to speak to you, he or she knows that you're going to come to an agreement at the end of the day. And that's beautiful, trust me. If you can have a collaborative relationship with your child where when you talk, the child talks, and you come to a balance. You look at, this is what the child wants, this is what I want. How can we meet at the middle? So I feel that's that. And the next thing I said is don't force anything on your children. Please don't force anything. Don't force your thoughts. Don't force your ideology. Don't force your thought or your ideology on a child. Please don't do that. It never works. It never works. There are countless stories of people who have who their parents forced this particular career path on them, and when they probably did it, they went to their parents, they took their certificate to their parents and dumped it at their parents' feet and said, you know what, I'm done. You wanted me to do this course and I did it, and this is your course. Now I want to do what I want to do. Do you understand? So it is not always good when a parent tries to force a thought, an idea, a perception, a form of perception on a child. It does not work anytime. It does not work at all. So please and please try as much as possible to control how you work with your child, to control how you throw an opinion on your child. Try as much as possible to allow your child understand the perspective at which you're coming from, at which you're seeing things. Don't allow the child see whatever thing you're doing as a force. Do you understand? Allow the child to see it as a form of an advice or opinion that you wish the child can take. But you're not forcing the child. Let the child see the consequences of whatever the action the person wants to take. And the last thing that I said is to raise your child to respect you and not to fear you. Nothing is more beautiful than that. Nothing is more beautiful than that. When a child respects you, the child honors you, the child um, um, puts you in this kind of position as in a godlike position, like a parent God, that kind of thing. So you want that kind of child that respects you and not fear you. Do you understand? It's always beautiful. The child knows that this is what my parent like, and I really really understand where they're coming from, and I don't really want to betray their trust. I don't really want to mess things up, and I just need to do that. And I think that's the end of everything that I have to say. And I really to say thank you very much. I've been seeing Olamide Olakunle making comments as regards this post. I really appreciate it, and I've been seeing people um, watch one or two times and flip off. I really appreciate those people watching too. Thank you very much. I've come to the end of this day's broadcast. By next week again, I'll be coming up to share just simple tips that can help parents take care of their train their children better. Um, like I always say, I'm interested in seeing you become a better person while I work on it too. I'm not perfect, but I am working towards perfection. I'm a work in progress, and I believe that we can work together to become better together. I'll see you again next week. Thank you, and God bless.